Hi guys, Anime Box back for another unboxing. And today we have Figma Levi. He is number 213. So here is the front of the box. Here is the back of the box where we can see all of the lovely poses that he is striking for us. And here is all the information that I never pay attention to. Here is this side of the box and the other side over here. Here is the top and the bottom. I would like to give a big thank you to Lunar Toys for sponsoring this episode and allowing me to review this figure for you guys. Here is the inside of the box. A nice purple wine color, one of my favorites. And let's check out the pieces. Alright, here is Figma Levi. I love the face paint for all of his faces. They're all really good. They did a really good job. Well, the paint up throughout is really good. Hopefully you can see all those tiny little buckles there. All the way down, everything sculpted is all really good. The details, despite the fact that Figma are tiny, they're 1/6 scale, the details are always really great. Everything is all just really well executed. Alright, so before we take a look at the pieces, let's just check out the articulation. Starting from the head, he can look down and up really well too. If you look, he actually has a joint in his neck, going from his torso to his neck, as well as his neck to his head. Because with figures like Miku 2.0, the neck doesn't have a joint, and it always looked a little awkward for me. So I'm really glad that you can get a lot of really good mobility with these, especially considering what dynamic characters they are. So for the arm, of course, it can go out like this, as well as 360 very easily. Lots of movement in there, which is great. And then his arm can, of course, come in as far as here and back straight again. And the hands will be on ball joints, so they can pretty much do anything. The torso has good movement, goes all the way back like that, and then has this much crunch. Not much side to side up here, but down at the waist there's much more movement, which is very awesome. His legs swivel a little bit and of course come out about that much and also pop off. Since it's popped off, I'll show you the little ball joint in there. You put it back on real quick and let's try that again. So yeah, they don't really go too far back, otherwise they'll pop off like that. So it goes about that far back, but it goes side to side extremely well. He can do the splits perfectly. So lots and lots of movement in the legs, and they come all the way back like this and forward. For his feet, they can go not too far forward, but it does have this toe hinge here, and then they can go all the way back like that. And then they can turn any which way, and it also has the ankle lock here, which is really awesome. So there's a lot of mobility in the feet and the legs. Alright, so that'll be it for the articulation. Let's take a look at the pieces. Here is the first face, which is very scary with his death stare. Always looking unhappy. Here is the next one, where he is looking very intense and angry. I like the face sculpt, it looks really good. You can even see like the clenching sort of mouth, very tiny details. And next, let's look at the 3D maneuver gear. If you saw the Armin Figma review, you'll know these things are really complicated. They work well, they work really well, but it's a bit complicated initially. But we will figure all those things out in just a second. And of course the poof clouds. Let's check out the swords. I'll just show you this one because they're both exactly the same. I love the metallic paint app on the blade, and of course the intricate details on the hilt and handle of the sword. And then underneath we have even more pieces. So here we have the cape, which as soon as you touch it you can tell it's a very different material. It's very soft, which is really great. You have the Survey Corps logo on the back here, and on the inside it has that little tab so you can attach it to him while he's on the stand. We also have the poof cloud, which I don't know if this is just me, but it looks way more translucent than the one with Armin. I remember it being opaque for Armin, but this one definitely has a translucency to it, even if it's very minor. And I don't know that it's gonna actually pick up on camera. And of course these very, very delicate pieces, which shoot out from the 3D maneuver gear and attach to walls and stuff with these hooks here. And all the stuff is already in here. It was sent to me already open, so someone probably already got a gander at the stuff that was inside before me. Here is the instructions sheet, in case you need to check that. There's all on the back too. Lots of instructions. All the Figma for Attack on Titan are pretty much the exact same, aside from their head sculpts. Well, that and Mikasa has boobs. Lots of goodies come with this one here. Of course, the Figma bag, but I never use it. I always just put it back in the box. We have the Figma stand and base here. Oh my god, there's hands everywhere. Came with all these hands. Like I said, not all the packaging is the way it will initially come because this has been pre-opened. So, not too sure how it's supposed to be with the hands. But not a big deal. These two fists should have been on there as well. And then we also have these hands. So hopefully that gives you a close enough look at those. And here's the other piece that I forgot to show with this. It comes with like little clips, so you can actually like hang this Figma and the other Attack on Titan Figmas, but I don't see myself actually using it. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get the most complicated part out of the way first, which is of course the 3D maneuver gear. So I'm actually gonna start by putting these larger heavy parts on first. These actually have tiny little ball pegs right here, and they go into his leg, which is actually hidden really well. So we'll just go ahead and put that in there, and I'll do the same for the other side. And once you have both those sides on, you don't have to do it in this order. This is just how I want to do it because it seems easier to me. So now I have this peg here and this hole here in his lower back, and that is just as easy as putting it in there. And then these parts right here have little pegs too, and those go into the holes in his hips. And I believe when you're not using these, you can actually just stick them in here like that, and they're just nice and out of the way. But if you do want to use them with the swords, they just attach right under here. Alright, here's something important to note. He has two different sets of gripping hands. This one is for gripping them normally, and this one is for the backwards way that he does, where he has these two fingers on the triggers. So initially I'm going to go ahead and use these hands here and have him hold his swords normally. And to do that, you can just slip it on here and then wiggle his little fingers into place. And there you have his two little fingers in that trigger section there. So it works really well. I'm gonna go ahead and give Levi his hand back here. And there you have him holding his sword. And then of course, you can put the end of this into the end of his sword. Like that. And I'll just go ahead and equip his other arm too. Alright, so here I have him set up with his swords. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter which hand they're on. So of course you can put the sword on his hand and the two trigger fingers line up perfectly. And then you have this piece at the end which you can take out if you don't want to use the swords and just put them back in here. And the 3D maneuver gear attaches here, here, and in the back right here. So once you know what you're doing, it's not too hard, but it can be a little bit tricky. Alright, so now that we have that covered, I'm gonna go ahead and put on his cape. Alright, for now I'm gonna get rid of these just so they're out of the way. I don't have to worry about breaking anything. But I will leave his 3D maneuver gear on. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and take off his hair piece. And his face is already popping out. Great. And if you wanted to see the entire face without the bangs, that's what that looks like there. Since I want to do an aerial pose, I'll go ahead and use his like insane angry face. It's kind of funny that he has like sideburns on the faceplate. You don't always see that on anime characters. Alright, put his bangs back on. And now he's just so angry. Oh my god, he has no hands. He's like a little stumpy pirate. He's a little angry stump pirate. Maybe that's why he's always so pissed, because he's secretly a handless pirate. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put him on his stand. And it had this little extra piece on it already. Alright, so I'm gonna use him with his cape. So I'll go ahead and take off his head. Alright, so put this on, and as you can see it lines up really well with the hole on his back. Put his head back on. This part is tricky, so you gotta get it through the hole in that tab as well as into his back, but it looks like I got it luckily. I'm gonna set him up on his base. Alright, got him set up on his base, and we have his cape on and flowing majestically in the wind. So let's figure out another cool pose to put him in. Alright, so here is a pose utilizing his cape and his backwards sword hands and the stand and all that good stuff. And if you wanted to utilize the smoke piece, all you gotta do is take this piece off here. There we go. Just take off that little cap piece there and replace it with this one. Push it in there and there you go. He is on his little cloud thing. And as for the little shooty pieces, you can just stick them in here like that, and then they go beep, beep. And they give you these to go over them. You can literally just like put them over like that, so they're like shooting out. But I would prefer to have mine displayed without, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave these off for now. And just get his hands out of the way. I'm gonna take his cape off, which means I have to take his head off again. Taking the heads off of Figma are always scary because I have heard some horror stories about people breaking their Figma. Primarily I speak of Miku 2.0. I'm gonna take off his faceplate one more time, and we can use his really scary face. There we go. Alright, so here he is with his displeased face. And I just wanted to showcase a couple of the different hands that he comes with. It actually comes with these, which are quite flared. And it also comes with, with these, which are like more standard and just kind of relaxed. Interesting though, the peg goes down this way, like to the thumb, instead of straight down, which is interesting. Not really sure why, not really sure if it serves a purpose, but just thought I'd, something interesting to note. This is another gripping hand that it comes with. It has two of these, and it's different from the other two trigger hands because it doesn't have any actual trigger fingers, so you can have him hold something, but it doesn't really come with anything for him to hold. I mean, maybe if you had the cleaning Levi, then you could have like the duster or the broom, but I would think that it'd come with its own hands for that set, so again, not sure if it serves any purpose, but something to note. Alright, I think I'll do one last pose and then we can finally conclude things for Levi. Alright, here is my final pose. I think it's pretty damn cool. Figma, I just love them so much. They're so fun to pose. So, of course, this Figma is amazing. It's basically what I was expecting. Having reviewed Armin, I already knew what to expect with the maneuver gear and the capes and all that. And Good Smile did an excellent job with the execution. Everything, again, despite the fact that it is complicated initially, works together really well. You can really tell that they thought everything through and they made sure that everything worked well. I don't even think I have any complaints for this Figma. So even if you're not a figure collector, if you're a big Shingeki no Kyojin fan, I highly suggest getting one of the 4 Figma that are out for the series, because they're a lot of fun, they're super posable, and they look really good. So once again, I'd like to give a big thank you to Lunar Toy Store for allowing me to review this figure for you guys. So if you want to pick up this figure or any like it, you can head on over to their online shop. I will leave a link in the description so you can check it out. I hope you enjoyed, I certainly did. As always, if you want to see more unboxings and other such coolness, please feel free to subscribe. That way you can be notified of any future videos and of such coolness. Until next time guys, Anime Box out.